So we're drilling down. You can see we've come from the 30,000 foot view. Mark's got us down to some more of the nitty gritty here at the 7,500 foot level. We are soon to flow down into even deeper terrain of local conditions. And we won't leave the conversation today. We're going to continue with the workshop series I want to tell you about now before we bring up our next speakers. These workshops are designed for interested farmers, current or future, to gain knowledge about organic agriculture from industry experts. The panel includes current organic producers. Am I introducing the right thing? Coffee in the back. What I meant to introduce, yes, thank you. What I meant to introduce is that over the course of several different evenings, we're going to have workshops 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Parks and Open Space building that will be focused on vegetable crops, field crops, and livestock, where we're going to bring in producers and buyers and industry experts to drill even deeper into the nuts and bolts for producers to explore. Is organic an option for me? What are some of the specific production practices? What are some of the specific market realities that they need to encounter? So I think we had those publications here today. Megan, are those available for that workshop series? They're in the back table, so make sure you grab one of those before you go, because this is not the end of the discussion today. So back to my script. The panel that we're about to bring up will be 2 organic buyers who will give you a taste of the market. And if you've been in the natural and organic foods industry in Boulder County, you've heard of Mark Retzloff. He's a pioneer in the organic and natural foods industry with a 45-year career starting and managing successful companies. He co-founded Horizon Organic Dairy and is a co-founder and chairman of Alfalfa's, a Boulder-based natural food store, and also one of our sponsors for our open bar later on. So thanks, Mark, for that. He's co-founded Aurora Organic Dairy in 2003 and currently serves as the director of Aurora. Our second speaker is Aaron Perry. He's the CEO and co-founder of Source Local Foods, a Colorado-based natural and organic foods distributor. He also founded Recycle Oil, a cooking oil recycling and biofuels company that serves many of the same customers purchasing from Source. He has lived in the Denver-Boulder area since the mid-1980s and currently lives in Boulder, where his daughter attends Boulder High and his son attends Centennial Middle School. So we're asking these guys to briefly tell you in the next 20 minutes where they're from, what they're looking to purchase, and what they have to offer potential producers, and then we'll follow that up with a Q&A. So help me welcome Mark and Aaron.
Thank you, Adrian, and thanks to the Boulder County Commissioners for putting this together, and for Boulder County Parks and Open Space for their continued support of organic and transforming open space. I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about the organic market side out there. You've seen today the numbers on where the marketplace is. It's arguably between 35 and 40%, but we're still seeing about 15% growth a year. So if we look at the numbers of where we are today, within 5 years we should be doubling that as far as the total growth amount that's being purchased out there. And some of the areas are growing even more faster than 15%. Fruits and vegetables are growing at about 20% a year, and as you saw with Mark's chart up there, fruits and vegetables make up about 40% of the products in organic, and so in that area it continues to grow. It's one of the gateway products categories where people first get introduced to organic. Dairy is continuing to grow at about 15% a year, and again, that's another one of the gateway categories for consumers to try organics. And organic meats, seafood and meat, and proteins are at a very small number, and we see that exponentially growing right now from a small number, but the demand out there is continuing to increase. One of the things at Alfalfa is that we're pretty unique. We're in a marketplace. We're communicating with the consumers every day. We're watching whatever programs we do, which ones are successful and which ones are not. And I can tell you unequivocally that everything that we do with organic is being successful right now with the consumers, particularly here in Boulder County. Whether it's in our produce departments, our meat and seafood, whether it's in our prepared foods, coffee and juice, even in our wellness sections with body care and with supplements and herbs. They're all growing rapidly. So in the organic side of it. We've also find the most recent study I saw, which was done out of the end of 2013, is that 80% of the American public in one way or another has consumed an organic product in the last year. So that tells you that the products are becoming ubiquitous out there in the marketplace. I think the most important thing for us as somebody who's out there buying a lot of products is that we don't know what we're going to do to meet the demand if it's going to double over the next 5 years. We need more farmers producing those materials. We have a number of production organizations and manufacturing and processing that are getting prepared to meet the demand, but what they cannot find is the sources out there. So that's something that we're all in the organic industry dealing with at this time. Somebody said earlier, I can't remember who the speaker is, that we needed an exchange, and that's exactly what we need. We need some way to connect us on the market side with the producers out there, and ways that we can encourage that transition and that to organic production out there. So again, kudos to the county for putting together this forum, and for the evening forums that are coming up that are category specific or product specific. I encourage all of you out there, whether you're a producer or somebody who's looking for supply, to attend those meetings so that you have the direct contact. That's really the way this business works, one-on-one with each other. One thing else I'd like to note, and I think Dawn brought this up today, we're very lucky here in Boulder County to have an organization called Naturally Boulder, which is made up of the natural and organic businesses here in our part of the country, in the Front Range of Colorado for the most part. We have 350 different companies who are members of that, 700 different people that are members of that here right in this area, in the North Front Range. So, and we're really trying to put together this as an industry level or a broad industry initiative to try to find ways to do this. For myself at Alfalfa, here's what we need. And Aaron will talk a little bit about, because he's one of the people who's helping supply us with this from his company. Fresh fruits and vegetables. I know there's not a lot of fruit on this side of the Continental Divide, and we're working a lot with the folks on the western slope on the fruits, but we're always looking and sourcing for produce and vegetables over here on this side of the hills. Dairy, we only carry organic fluid milk in our stores, and but there's lots of other organic dairy products out there that we would like to be able to source locally. Livestock products, again, as I said earlier, I won't include seafood in this, but we do have a lot of livestock, whether it's lamb, pork, poultry, or beef that we're looking for. Bulk items, continually looking for that on a local level. Ingredients, whether they go into our culinary area for food service. Occasionally we get contacted by local breweries looking for organic brewery materials. And bakery, and of course animal feed out there, whether it's for mostly, that one I think is significant in poultry from eggs. And the packaged goods, I'm not going to really talk about that as system, though there is some big companies out there that could use some help on that. But there's a pretty active environment with Naturally Boulder and networking with one another to help find that. And then I'd just like to point out a few buyers that I know are out here in the audience. So if you're a supplier, one of the buyers, Clarice Ritter, raise your hand, Clarice. She's she's our produce general manager, and she's actually fruits and vegetables she's buying. Al Lewis, is Al still here? Al back here from Natural Grocers, Vitamin Cottage. They're looking for all sorts of things from regionally, and Al's one of the people there to contact. The people from Nest Fresh, I don't see George here today, but Nest Fresh is looking for feed. We have Brian England from Aurora. Aurora's got some significant needs in feed for livestock. Aurora this year is looking for about 60,000 tons of alfalfa hay, 30,000 tons of grass hay, and 60,000 tons of corn silage. Okay, so those are significant amounts. I think if we added all that up, it would be all the open space and the ag land we have here, or maybe all the ag land we have in Boulder County. But they don't expect to get it all from here, but they do have a significant need, and they do have a lot of resources to help you in understanding how to produce those things from the number of the decades that they've been doing that organically. Doug Roddy and Rudy's is on, and I don't know if anybody's here from Bay State. Okay, right here on wheat and either some of the other grains that come in. Bay State Milling is in Platteville. It's the old Rocky Mountain milling plant over there, right off of 66 and 85. Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. And Dave Carter. Dave, are you here? Dave, if any of you in the livestock business, Dave has been involved in the livestock and the organic livestock, was chairman of the NOSB and at USDA a number of years ago. So he's been working with a number of people out there on locating, looking to locate organic livestock products. So those are just some of the ones that are out there today, and I'm going to turn this over to Aaron from. You can say a few things.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Adrian. Thank you, Mark. So you can probably tell from the program I'm actually filling in for Doug, who I think was not able to make it today. Appreciate the opportunity to get up and chat for a few minutes with you all. Hopefully some of the information I can share will be helpful. Before sharing a few things, though, I want to just give a shout out to 4 of my colleagues who were able to make it today. John Steiner over here, if you could raise your hand, John. Thank you. And Luke Eisenhower in the back there. Luke, if you could raise your hand. And then over here, Evan Horanovsky and Rich Hamlin. Now, I have an ulterior motive in pointing these guys out to you, and that is that they're really the experts when it comes to a lot of the information I think you guys will find interesting and valuable. So if I get a question that I need to defer to them, I'm happy that they're here. And that reflects, I think, some of the real passion that our small organization has when it comes to local and sustainable food distribution and our work in helping to build sustainable food systems here in Colorado. At Source Local Foods, we are basically distributing natural and organic produce, dairy, meat, grocery, and beverage items to both restaurants, food service, and grocery and retail customers throughout the state of Colorado. And this emerging local food distribution phenomenon is something that is happening nationwide, and there are a number of really wonderful organizations doing amazing things, helping to increase organic food production throughout the country through these food hubs. I also want to give a shout out to Miranda Taylor, who's here from LOCO, which is one of the food hubs, local food distributors operating out of Fort Collins, and they're also doing great work in this space. We estimate last year was our first full calendar year. We're just coming up on our 2-year anniversary of operations as a small distributor. And last year we moved somewhere around $1.5 million of food in Colorado. And this year we're expecting to do something like 2 to 3 times that. And of that, we see somewhere in the 15% range is certified organic. But what we're moving that would probably meet organic certification standards is something considerably more. And the gentleman that spoke previously about many of the growers out there who are using organic practices but are not certified is something we see a lot of with the growers that we work with, including some here in Boulder County. One of the things, we're seeing plenty of demand out there, and we're working with retailers like Alfalfa's that has such deep commitment to sustainable and organic foods here in our community. We're selling foods out at Denver International Airport. We're selling food up at ski resorts and ski towns like Vail and Aspen. So we have a really diverse customer group that we're working with, and it's really interesting the ways in which they are demanding organic foods from us and from the growers all over Colorado, and especially right here on the Front Range. And we expect to see a whole lot more demand for certified organic products. One of the really interesting things we're seeing in the animal products world, that's eggs, dairy, meat, and so forth, is that more and more of the producers are coming to us with information and claims about non-GMO feeds that they're using. And so while a lot of them may not yet be certified organic with their products, we know that the non-GMO feed regime is becoming increasingly important to our customers, who of course are responding to demand from consumers in communities all around the state. So we see a huge future here. We're very excited to see such a great group of folks coming together around issues of organic food production, additional organic food production here in Boulder County. And from the standpoint of being a distributor, dealing daily with a constant stream of supply and demand market signals, we know that there's a heck of a lot of demand out there. And as far as folks who are considering organic food production here in the county, as far as risks go in your assessment of opportunity and risk in business decisions you may be making, from my perspective, I think from our perspective, we would say that demand and volume market movement opportunities is probably not one of the big risks looking here in Colorado.
Thanks, guys. Let's see if there are questions. Any questions? Anybody want to hold up a card if you have a question? I see Glenn vigorously writing over here. Is that a question you're writing? What was that? Okay. All right. So without further ado, if there are no questions for these gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.